Welcome back to What's Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an E100. It's a tier 10 German super heavy tank. It's located on the south spawn of Erlenberg encounter, and this one is under the command of Clean Sweeper Marksman. Now I think he's got the 15cm gun, which is the KWK-44L38. Yes, he has got it. And his premium rounds, which are heat, are capable of 750 alpha, penetrating through 334mm of armor. You can see he's put it in the number 1 slot, and in the number 2 slot he's put his HE rounds capable of 950 alpha, but only penetrating 85mm. The armor piercing rounds, which he's put in the 3rd slot, are capable of 750 alpha and 246mm. So what can I tell you about the E100? Well, it's built by the Erlenberg company. Started work on it in June 1943, so quite early in the war, and they were still building the Tiger 1 and working on the Tiger 2, and it was supposed to be the alternative to the Porsche super heavy mouse. And you can see it's quite an interesting design. The Entwicklung series, which is a simplification of German manufacturing, to try and make these tanks much easier to build. But it was a very big tank, 150 tons in weight, and that's why it's super heavy. So very big tank indeed, and that means it's very slow, it's very big, and it's very easy to spot and kill in theory. But it's got 200mm of armor on the front of the hull, 120 on the sides and 150 on the rear. Fires around into Type 5 for 850. Nice shot. High roll. Now the standard reload time is actually quite long. If I remember correctly, 19.18 seconds. He just took a round from a Gorilla 15 who's now hiding. If he was to load an HE round, he would really devastate that Gorilla. In fact, a lot of people play the E100 solely with HE because, after all, on some of the vehicles you come up against, if you hit them with an HE round, you will literally devastate them. Mainly because the splash. Waiting for the Gorilla 15 to come back out again. He does! Oh! That must have hurt. 805, a high roll again. Now they started work on it in 1943, but in 1944 Hitler cancelled all the future heavy tank development work, and so the Erlenberg company, rather cheekily, actually assigned 3 employees to continue work on it. And a nice shot into the Renegade, who was cheekily firing shots into the side, and he got 714 hit points off that. So yes, they continued work on it even though Hitler had told them not to. And it wasn't in defiance of Hitler, it was more a case of they felt that development should continue because this tank was worth considering. And so they continued to work on it even though Hitler had said no. And by the end of the war they'd actually completed it. So it took them a year to get the hull completed, but it was just waiting for the turret. And the turret was supposed to be the same one that you find on the mouse with the rounded front. But of course it was never supplied by Porsche. Well, he goes for the cupola, but he doesn't get that one in, but he bounced around that came back from the Type 5, who appears to be firing nothing but AP. Which is kind of strange because most people on Type 5s tend to fire nothing but HE. Okay, we've got Noobs coming up behind us to try and get a shot. Rather cheeky that. And it looks like Clean Sweeper might have actually got a patrol duty. Ah, I missed that one though. Oh, we just lost the Type 5 and the STG. Not good. But the Unis has died. He got taken out by our Wizzy 1201 GFT. And Clean Sweeper Marksman's turned around now. Not sure why he's done that. But he's now run up onto the rubble, and so he's at an angle. Oh, here comes the 705. He he gets around into the 705, but that hits him in the engine, so he's now down to just 691 hit points left, and he's got an incredibly rough sounding Daimler-Benz engine. It's a Daimler-Benz engine that produces 1,000 horsepower, because the Maybach engine that was in the Tiger 2 just wasn't powerful enough to move this super heavy. And he just got clobbered by that Type 5 again with another AP round. So now he's down to just 81 hit points. He can't afford to get hit again. So I think he's backing into the corner after fixing his engine. And I think he's going to stay here now until he actually has to move. If the enemy comes around that corner, he'll blast that Bisonte. He won't get a one-shot kill though, unless he ammo-racks him. Score's still even at this point, and they are blocking the cap. Well, the Bisonte is now one shot. He's just lost a huge amount of hit points. Oh, in fact, he's lost even more, and he's out of the game. So he's just waiting in this spot at the moment, just in case that 705 comes around the corner. He's pre-aimed, just in case. Well, Clean Sweeper's thinking about trying another shot, but might be taking a bit of a risk considering how little hit points he has, and the Progetto goes up explosively. And so does the Type 5. And that's paying him back for that shot that he fired earlier. Because he hit us for 610 back then, if you remember. Well, now he's lost 665, he's out of the game. Well, we've got a distinct advantage now. We're up 4 tanks on the enemy. Now would be the time to load the HE rounds, because all of the tanks that are left on the enemy team have got very low armour. So if he fires an HE, it's more than likely going to take out the enemy tank. They've got a Leopard Prototype A, an ISU 152, a Borsig, and an LT 432. And we know the LT 432 is to the south of us because we can see him. I think both Leopards are going over there to deal with that situation. We've got a Grilla 15 over on the west side of the map, and the Wizzy 120 is in the castle. We're now 2 tanks up on the enemy, and we're capping. Almost capped out. Oh, somebody reset the cap. Somebody left the cap circle momentarily. The Borsig has been spotted. He's just coming down the road now towards us. He's going to have to come around the sides of that Type 5 Heavy. Oh no! The round hit the Type 5 Heavy wreck, and the Borsig doesn't mistake that shot. But he is absolutely being pummeled. So unfortunately, Clean Sweeper Marksman's out the game, but so is the Borsig. That means now there's only 2 enemies left, a Leopard Prototype and an ISU 152K. Well, sorry, not a K version, it's the ISU 152. So the only way we're going to be able to follow this battle now is to watch what happens with the Leopard Prototype A on the enemy team. Well, he's over on the other side of the river. And it looks like he's fighting it out with our Leopard. In fact, we've still got 2 Leopard prototypes. Oops, one of them's down to 116 hit points now. The other one's crossing the river to make sure that that guy's finished off. He's staying near the cap area, that Leopard. It really hasn't got any support down here because the ISU 152 must be up in the north somewhere and nobody's spotted him yet. And there goes the Leopard prototype, killed by one of the Leopard prototypes. I think it was that G-Man one, the one who was badly damaged, actually got the kill shot. So he looks like he's after the ISU 152. He's trying to spot where the ISU 152 is. He could be anywhere in that tree line up ahead. The guerrilla's made his way up near the river. Let's get close to their spawn area. Must be somewhere around there. There he is! Been spotted. And the gorilla gets a big hit into him. And he's now receiving fire from the leopards. And the other leopard managed to get the kill. So it's turned out to be a victory. Let's have a look at the end of battle stats. Here's the end of battle results, and it was a second class tanker for Clean Sweeper Marksman in the E100. In fact, this is the first time he's had a second class tanker in this tank. He's got a spotter badge for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points to his own vehicle, but sadly no other medals, even though at one point it did say that he had a patrol duty. I'm not sure if he actually lost it or what happened to that medal, but he did get a win rate of 3,521 and some substantial damage on the enemy before he was wiped out. Let's have a look at team score. Well, when it came to damage, the high scorer was that Type 5 Heavy on the enemy team, got a high caliber for 5,696 hit points. The second highest damager was the Gorilla 15 on his own team with 3,969, followed by Clean Sweeper Marksman with 3,833, closely followed by the Gorilla 15 on the enemy team. The one he hit, he got 3,807. When it came to kills, it was the Wizzy 1201 GFT who got the highest with 4 kills. 3 kills went to the Gorilla 15, the Leopard prototype, and nobody on the enemy team managed to get more than 2 kills. And when it came to base XP, it was the Wizzy 1201 GFT again with 1,061, 967 to one of the Leopard prototypes, and 906 went to Clean Sweeper Marksman. He fired only 8 rounds in the entire game, got 6 direct hits and 5 penetrations, damage of 3,833 hit points, all of it at close range, received 8 hits from the enemy, 5 of them penetrated, 3 non-penetrations, and block damage of 1,320 hit points in total. He spotted 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 4 of the enemy, killed 1, and did 1,613 hit points of spotting assist. On a premium count, he earned 68,544 credits, but he did fire a lot of heat ammo. Towards the end, he should have been firing HE because he would have been far more effective, even if that shot had hit the wheel of the idler wheel of the Type 5 that he accidentally hit by mistake. It still would have damaged that Borsig and potentially put him out the game. So yes, it's sometimes switching to HE rounds on this tank can actually be beneficial, and he actually made a loss for the game of 47,671 credits because of the premium ammo. He did pick up 7 bonds because it was a tier 10 vehicle, and 1,359 XP, 2,718 for completing the mission events, and a total of 4,077 experience points altogether. So what a good game that was from Clean Sweeper Marksman. He did his bit, sticking in the cap to hold it against all comers. And although he had minimal hit points left at the end, he did out-survive all the other guys who were capping. And at one point it looked like he was going to cap out, but I'm afraid his teammates managed to get the reset because they wanted all 15 kills. And unfortunately, yes, he did get killed by that enemy Borsig at the end. Rather a pity that, because one little HE round would have been enough to finish that Borsig off completely. And would have saved him the trouble of being wiped out. But there you go. Sometimes it happens. So I hope you enjoyed that replay. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it feeds the YouTube algorithm. And thank you for watching.